Hey, welcome. Psalm 60. Here we go. This is written by David, another psalm that while he's not necessarily on the run, but seems to be fighting and may be on the run, I guess that's one way to put it. But here, David is experiencing something we all have experienced. It seems like God lets us go through some rough times. And David feels like that God has forced him to go through some rough times. And this really been disconcerting to David. He's recognizing God has made him and his men experience some hardships. And but yet he recognizes in verse 4 that God is willing, or God has a banner for them to kind of all fall after. And it reminds me of what a flag does. A flag is a representation of a group. It's something that we can all kind of come under and be a part of. A flag is just a flag. Some people like to do weird things with flags, but the idea behind it is really good. That we would be able to stand up under it, be united with this idea of this banner. He says in verse 4 that God has given a banner to those who fear him, and that it would be displayed because of truth. And that's really what we should have a banner under, the truth. There's another banner that talked about in Scripture in the Song of Solomon. A banner over me is love. Here he's talking about the banner of truth. And really that's what Jesus is, isn't he? Jesus is our banner of truth. He's the flag that represents truth. And that is who we serve. Well, this particular psalm shows David is in wartime. And it has some things that are different from some the passages that talk about that in 1st and 2nd Samuel. I believe in 2nd Samuel chapter 8. You can read this about this story of the men who of men of Moab, I believe, of Edom rather. Sorry. Those of Edom that David has fought, and but this psalm gives more understanding to the whole story. That there's some rough challenges in David's life, but in the end, what David says is that through it all, it's by God that we will win, and it's God that will bring us back into the city, and he will tread down our adversaries. I find it interesting in verse 11, he makes a very cogent statement. Oh, give us help, for the deliverance by man is vain. And isn't that true? What we can do for each other is helpful, it's kind, but we can't really deliver people. Only God can. And this psalm is yet another reminder that it's God who delivers, and especially when in time of war. There's one other small lesson to learn from this, and to see that when we get closer to God, the enemy comes stronger. So that is a tough one. It's something that we need to learn to recognize and hope in God for.